As you think about your patients and maybe patients who are just beginning to consider IVF, or maybe people who are younger who think they might want to have kids but aren't even really thinking seriously about IVF yet, what advice would you give them with the benefit of all your experience and all your insight into the journey in patient care?
So many people say, I'm putting my career first, and I want to get to a point in my career where I can take maternity leave and paternity leave, and that's going to be another 10 years. But 10 years go, and 15 years go, and now you're 39 years old, and you're like, okay, I'm going to have a baby, let's go. And it's not that easy. We weren't designed biologically to have babies at 39 because in the Middle Ages, people lived to 40. Now we're living to 80. You can't wait until 40 to have a kid. Biologically, we're still the same humans that we were.
OBGYNs often expect their patients to ask if they think there's a problem, and the patients are expecting the OBGYN to ask all the relevant questions to see if there might be infertility. And that's just a really difficult dynamic to get to a good outcome.
We did research with OBs and with patients, and that was the biggest disconnect that we found, was that there wasn't a good communication. And a lot of it, I think, was because of the pressure of reimbursement and how many people you have to see. The doctor didn't want to force this idea of, I'm asking you, and your parents are asking you, and your grandparents are asking you, when are you going to have a kid? And they didn't want to add this pressure. And the patient basically felt like, well, if there was a medical concern, surely they would raise it. And so, yeah, it's a disconnect, unfortunately, that we don't have better education about this age-related infertility.
How do you define success? And where is that trending over time? Where do you see that evolving to in the next 5-10 years?
It used to be in the early days that a success was a live birth, and that was maybe 15% in any given month. Mother Nature is actually very inefficient as well. And so a healthy couple, only 8 to 10% of them will have a baby in any given month. But over the course of a year, that all adds up and becomes cumulative. So about 85% over that year will have a baby. Infertility is a reduction in that natural fecundity rate. And what we've been able to do is improve that single monthly success to now a woman under 35 is over 50% likely to have a baby from one IVF cycle.
It's not only so fascinating, but also just such a great success story in healthcare technology, in healthcare access, in patient experience. It's just great to hear. Can you talk about the opportunities in automation and then also in AI?
There are companies that now use time-lapse imaging and artificial intelligence to see things that our human eye can't see as an embryo is growing and dividing. And are there cells that are fragmented within that larger embryo of multi-cells that the computer can pick up that the human eye can't? And we're working with some startup companies to be able to identify how artificial intelligence and machine learning can give us a much more objective metric of selecting these good embryos versus the human eye that we're using today. The other interesting thing that we're using AI for is in patient prediction. Based on a very large data set of all of our patients, we're able to collect data on a couple, the sperm quality, the endocrine parameters of the woman, their blood levels, their age, their smoking history. So both clinical as well as lifestyle. And then the artificial intelligence can find patients that have those similar characteristics and see what the best protocol for them to start with, what their outcome is. And so we're now able to give almost this personalized picture to a patient and say, based on all these parameters, this is the likelihood of you having a baby. Oh, you're a smoker. Oh, you don't exercise. If you cut your smoking and stop it for 3 months, if you start exercising, if you change your diet, we can take you from this likelihood of a baby to this likelihood of a baby. And we know that because we see this improvement in other patients, and the artificial intelligence data set and the algorithms are able to show us, taking a couple different lifestyle changes might make a difference in your successful outcome or not.